I know 30 seconds of logos isn't terribly long, but there are so many of these f***ers packed in that I can't help but sin it. I'm not sure what looks more fake, the Oasis or this over CGI'd Shack Stack. Man, I haven't seen product placement this obvious in a movie since some asshole heavily featured Reese's Pieces in some movie I can't remember. I don't doubt that the Oasis gives you a chance to be a pole dancer if you like, or whatever the f*** this is. I just doubt many people engaging in this activity would leave their curtains open.
I was born in 2027.
After giving us a pretty fun unbroken shot, movie serves up a heaping helping of narration.
You can climb Mount Everest with Batman?
Yeah, but I would want to climb Mount Everest as Batman. Who wants to climb a mountain with Batman? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Also, my guess for the other choices of climbing partner are Bugs Bunny, Harry Potter, Neo, Godzilla, Richard Kimball, in addition to other WB stars.
Check out this place. It's a casino the size of a planet.
And if there's a section of the movie set there that involves a brief incarceration, a random meeting with a morally ambiguous codebreaker, and an animal escape, you can expect a fan revolt. Okay, so here's a line to go through some portal, but they're in a virtual world, so why is there a line at all? I can see that there are multiple portals, but why aren't there more stacked end to end so that lines are no longer a thing? I know this is a simulation and all, but what the f*** would Freddy Krueger be doing on a planet full of people blasting giant scorpions and shit? Freddy's out of his depth on this planet, and he's not even in a dream.
Gregarious 120.
Turn into any giant robot for 2 minutes.
If Wade is reading the description of the artifact, why didn't he read it like it's actually written? He really needed to convert the time units for the sake of exposition.
All your money.
How is this guy playing the game? Sitting at a restaurant. Everyone we've seen so far has been standing up, running, and jumping around in their real space. But this dude can just sit when he plays? This would be an orgy of evidence that this is a little girl's room, except for the fact that I don't think it's an orgy of evidence that it's this little girl's room. Is she putting on a front for her parents? Yeah, I like Donkey Kong Jr., plush toys, and a plethora of girly but what I really like to do is pwn noobs on Planet Doom, the most dangerous place in the Oasis. And oh hey, look, there's Jason, another guy who shouldn't be too tough to kill on this planet. They should have called Planet Doom Warner Brothers Park. Apparently this company allows their employees to go to the Oasis while on the clock. Don't ask me how this dude was playing at his desk and not causing a scene before he died. And that's what he gets for playing as Jason Voorhees.
If you all want to reach under your seats, you'll find that there's nothing there.
Dick.
If you're watching this, I'm dead.
If you're watching this, I'm dead cliche.
I created 3 hidden keys to 3 magic gates.
Damn, Halliday's character went from Garth Algar to Jeffrey Rush in seconds flat.
No one has even gotten 1 key. Some long-forgotten gunter cracked the first clue and found the first challenge.
But why spend time telling you how that guy cracked the first clue when we can take you straight to the first challenge, filled with even more pop culture references? I mean, what fun is it to use your brain to solve puzzles and be an active participant when watching a movie? Zero fun, I say. Also, the first guy didn't get any points for finding the first portal. What a tough f***ing game.
The only ones still trying are the gunters, as in egg hunters. Oh, and of course, the Sixers.
That's because you've got to trust the process.
They're just following the orders of the head of IOI. This dickweed named Nolan Sorrento.
This is where the story has an immediate flaw in my eyes. While I truly believe evil corporations would be doing something like this, the real antagonist should be the scavenger hunt itself, Wade versus everybody else. Adding an evil villain into this mix takes away from the fun. Also, at this point, I think Ben Mendelsohn's played a bad guy in a big budget movie as many times as Bruce Greenwood's been the president. I've got a question about this Delorean. Aside from the obvious, look at that, it's the Delorean way it makes an appearance. When you're in the Oasis, does every car have the same speed capabilities? Or are they confined to the vehicle's real-world capabilities? If so, a Delorean could only go from 0 to 60 in roughly 8 seconds and had a top speed of 110 miles an hour, which I imagine sucks in a race like this. The last time we saw these assholes a few seconds ago, Artemis was way the hell ahead of Wade, but now they're neck and neck?
The girl! I think it's Artemis!
So during this crazy-ass race with killer obstacles, I figured I'd give you more exposition about her, rather than waiting until it's over. Watching this race, I guess, thank God that nobody other than a select group of believers still try to do this. Can you imagine sticking another 1,000 or so people in this thing? Also, this whole race seems to be against the spirit of what Halliday represents. Why would you need to enter this race at scheduled times against tons of opponents? It's a virtual world, so why can't you just do this anytime you want against the AI? And if you manage to win the race, then you open the door for others to copy you and get past the first challenge by doing no work whatsoever. If Parzival's DeLorean has the no roads option, why the hell isn't he flying all over this? Hey guys, a Last Action Hero reference. For the win? This 10-second T-Rex scene is somehow better than both Jurassic World and its sequel. Did Kong seriously just peace out after destroying the road? You can see them right here, right? What if they found another way around? Wade's car isn't even damaged. Sad to say, this is the most successful movie that the Iron Giant has ever been in.
Favorite restaurant was Chuck E. Cheese.
I know Halliday was a nerd, but no person on this earth would put Chuck E. Cheese down as their favorite restaurant, outside of someone who was 5.
I stopped because of Kong. No one ever makes it past Kong. That's like a rule.
If Parzival knows this, then why was he so confident when he got close to the finish line? He knew Kong was hot on his trail.
I need every edge I can get. Every push, punch, gunshot, you feel it all.
How does feeling pushes, punches, and gunshots give you an edge? And from what we've seen, gunshots just kill you immediately. So what good is that? Jesus, how many retro bags of Doritos does this family need? One on the fridge, one on the coffee table. Wait, is this the virtual reality? Or is it reality? Because if it's the latter, Wade's a superhuman who can take a direct punch to the face without any physical damage to him or his glasses.
How will you eat up my valuable search time today?
Isn't providing information to Gunters the curator's only job? And it's not like there's anybody else here, so why isn't he ecstatic that Parzival's here to use it?
Some things are perfect just the way they are. Asteroids.
People don't live inside an asteroid's arcade cabinet.
This scene is a perfect example of how easy it is for British actors to do a believable American accent. And because that's not fair, I'm sending these right mank gif.
Why can't we go backwards for once? Backwards. Really fast. Fast as we can.
This is the clue. It's one of the most pored over pieces of video in the Halliday journals, and yet nobody figured it out for 5 years. Remember, a whole bunch of assholes have tried that race over and over, knowing King Kong is impossible to get past, and yet nobody thought this go backwards thing was important. Also, this AI butler guy was told we're finished, but kept playing the video long after. And yeah, I know he's actually Simon Pegg's avatar, but how many times has he seen people not get this clue? There's nothing special about Wade Watts, yet anyway.
Back again so soon?
You know, considering she's a well-known Gunter, it's extremely weird that Parzival's never seen Artemis until the last race. And now she's apparently at all of them. Wow, Wade isn't nearly this close to Artemis. Oh, come on, movie. You've got the Delorean, the triumphant moment. You've even got Alan Silvestri doing your score. You can't put in some actual Back to the Future music? I was just wondering, what the does the scoreboard matter? If the goal is to find the keys and solve Halliday's scavenger hunt, the points hardly matter.
We estimate we can sell up to 80% of an individual's visual field before inducing seizures.
What the does a company need with 80% advertisements if they win the contest and own the Oasis, which is worth half a goddamn $1 trillion and is a money printing machine? Yeah, greed and whatnot, but you'd lose probably half the people who go to the Oasis. Hope that Coca-Cola revenue is enough to make up for it. Also, it's funny how IOI is considered an evil corporation, while Halliday and Morrow are considered saints, even though everything in the Oasis costs money, and they set up a system where it's difficult to compete with richer players.
Whoa! Zemeckis Cube!
Did Zemeckis pull a Biff and go back in time to steal the Rubik's Cube for this design?
X1 haptic boot suit?
Parzival's shopping in the Oasis, so when he buys something that can only be used in the Oasis, like the Holy Hand Grenade, that makes sense. But you can buy something in the Oasis that you can use in the real world? Like there are drug dealers here that you can pay in fake money and they make actual deliveries? Because that's the movie I want to see.
Oh, yeah.
Orgasm boxing. This haphazard password storage is going to be a huge plot point later, but why does he even need the password? This f***ing thing scans his face when he sits down. Discount Thanos.
There are only 3 things in this world I hate. Steampunk, pirates, and tabbouleh.
This character is as unnecessary in this movie as TJ Miller is unnecessary as a comedian.
He totally totaled his car, but then Show got it too.
How did he total his car? The track that you drive on has absolutely no obstacles.
I'm not wearing that.
Artemis just made a huge f***ing deal about Parzival not being able to walk around without a disguise. But why is she not wearing one anymore? She was the second player to get the key, and she was a previously famous blogger. So why isn't she getting mobbed too?
Halliday went on a date with Ogden Morrow's wife.
Just once. Years before they were even married.
How does she not know this? Isn't she just as obsessed with these journals as he is? And she missed this?
The name Kira is only mentioned once in all of Halliday's journals.
That's not possible.
Man, the curator character is the most annoying thing about this movie. He's a goddamn machine. He's also Ogden Morrow, and his sole purpose is to search the archives. Searching for one word, that should take less than a f***ing second. Can you drink things in the Oasis? Why are there empty cans of Coke and f***ing Tab in this virtual den? And I see a hint of Pepsi. You got 2 huge competitors to share time in the same movie. How much did Coke pay to turn that Pepsi around? Why is not changing your identity out in the Oasis a thing anymore? Like, this movie blew its wad on a Goro alien reference for Artemis and gave him a Clark Kent disguise, and the motherfucker hasn't used it since. I mean, even Artemis didn't remind him to use it again. And this is going to be a big deal for the plot. Wait, does he have control over everybody's experience at this dance club? Like, I'm grooving to f***ing Daft Punk and some asshole can change it to the Bee Gees? Is there seriously no place you can go in this virtual world that isn't safe? Halliday actually built this dance hall and he didn't put any rules about shooting people here? You always gotta be on guard.
Did you hear what I said? I said I'm in love with you.
Jeez, man. The power of boners will make you forget that you're getting shot at and you could lose all your I guess. Man, these IOI agents definitely studied Star Wars, especially the excellent Stormtrooper aim. They both survived this.
Zemeckis Cube. Turns everything back in time, 60 seconds.
I guess it's got the same Marty McFly logic too, where he didn't give himself enough time to change anything. Also, why doesn't the cube turn back time for him and Artemis?
Do you really think that anyone's gonna give a damn about an explosion in some ghetto trash rat warren in Columbus?
Our villain, who I will reiterate is the worst thing about this story, tells Wade there's an explosion coming a full minute before it explodes, giving him ample time, even if he were in the trailer Sorrento thinks he's in, to get out before it blows.
Sorrento, don't do this! I'm not even there!
Not for long.
I know he's all horned up for a murdering, but why wouldn't Sorrento at least check to see if Wade's telling the truth here? All he knows is that no one's seen Wade for 3 days. He doesn't think that's the least bit suspicious?
I don't want to hear your voice ever again.
Oh no, Wade's terrible aunt and her asshole boyfriend got blown up. I wish I cared, but this explosion leaves me empty. I'm vaguely glad it happened. Wow, this thing blew up and toppled the stacks in a perfect way so that Wade would have to implement the teachings of the Prometheus school of running away from things.
IOI came for me in the real world.
Are you f***ing kidding me? This enormous henchman was able to hide behind this puny desk chair?
My real name is Samantha, but yeah, I'm Artemis.
I love how they set up Wade to be in love with Artemis and he says, I'd love you even if you're hideous. But then she turns out to be ridiculously hot, so he never has to test that hypothesis.
Been living this close to each other the whole time?
Yeah, it's a pretty f***ing enormous coincidence, right? Like, I know Columbus is the new hotness and all, but the odds of the two most successful Gunters living within a couple miles of each other is really stretching suspension of disbelief.
I've lived with it my whole life. You don't have to pretend.
This just rings plain false. I can understand her not thinking she's attractive because of the large birthmark, but I do not believe for 1 minute that people treat her all that differently. This is like the Mystique conundrum to me, only it's sillier. And it's not like there's a ton of birthmark fetishists out there who skew the results.
The place where the leap wasn't taken.
Where the date was.
At the movies.
Wait, when did everybody decide that they would be teaming up? Wade and Samantha did all this on their own, but then they just call in all the guys they think are trustworthy at the drop of a hat? Why don't the others do any research with them?
The Shining. It's Halliday's 11th favorite horror film.
Jesus Christ, he ranked his favorite movies by genre past 10, and he's clearly wrong, by the way.
And it's based on the best-selling book by Stephen King, who hated the movie.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he hated his creation. It means he hated Stanley Kubrick's version of it. That's a fudging of the clue, man. Okay, so now my next question is, how hasn't anyone stumbled across this before and discovered a weird, playable version of The Shining yet?
I've never seen The Shining. Is it really scary?
Me movie. H is a high-level Gunter, and Parzival said this movie is one of Halliday's favorites. So how the hell has H not seen it? What the f***? Did H just get knocked around by The Shining's greatest hits? How is he getting pulled out of the freezer from the hedge maze? What a bunch of bullshit. Stanley Kubrick will likely come back to life after this and slap Steven Spielberg around, and then wait another 15 years to make a new movie.
Halliday's greatest fear wasn't The Shining or any book or movie. His biggest fear was kissing a girl. That's the leap he couldn't take.
I like how this is being shared as new information when that's exactly why they're here in the first place. Remember this?
He had a chance with Kira. He had a chance to kiss her.
He didn't take the leap.
So let's stop wasting time already.
None of this is in The Shining.
The whole Shining trivia is just a diversion.
Rendering it utterly meaningless. Glad we could take a stroll down memory lane to watch some famous scenes of The Shining, when all somebody had to do was look in the ballroom and find Kira dancing. I mean, seriously, outside of the figuring out The Shining clue, what's hard about completing this challenge?
Care to dance?
This is what the task is, asking her to dance. But they've been saying that the kiss was what was important, yet this is the first thing Artemis tries, probably because a lesbian lip lock would have made a few squares run out of the theater screaming.
One of our zoologists saw them enter the media library. She cracked the clue. Now we just have to win The Shining challenge.
Do any of the good guys want to use the f***ing Clark Kent glasses that change their avatar identity just f***ing once so they can't follow them around? I mean, goddamn.
Mr. Sorrento, I really think you need to see this.
I think you need to see this cliche.
Now Parzival's got the Jade Key.
Yeah, but how are these other Sixers also in the game now if Parzival just now won? It's already been shown that everyone else in the house is kicked outside the movie theater once someone takes the leap. Well, they got one of those van thingies, so I guess we'll stop at the pursuit here, even though we have very usable guns, and probably a nearby vehicle. And tell those drones to stop droning while you're not doing anything.
How did IOI find the third challenge so fast?
IOI cracked the first 3 lines of the clue.
Can the person who isn't driving answer this question? Keep your eyes on the road, for Christ's sake. Also, we never find out how the answer to the third location is solved. It's a solution without proof, forever and ever.
An Atari 2600, sir. Every game ever made for it. Thousands of possibilities.
Even Custer's Revenge? Also, why didn't Halliday make it possible for multiple players with 2 keys to enter infinite duplicates of this world to attempt the challenge? Why is there a f***ing line of people trying games? The way the challenges are set up really shortchanges the possibilities of this world, and it's like they forgot they can literally do f***ing anything and avoid bottlenecks like this. How are there no Gunters here already? I know the high five are otherwise engaged, but the word's out on IOI finding the third clue, and it's taken a while to get this orb up and running.
Where is she?
Wade plays the pronoun game, which I am sure Halliday was not a fan of, so that Sorrento has to figure out who the hell she is. Also, these guys have hacked into Sorrento's rig, making him think that he's in the real world, including using avatars that look exactly like their real selves, which reminds me again how many times these dicks didn't use disguises when they went egg hunting. Wow, I thought the security was lax when Daito and Parzival did their sham break-it, but there's literally no security outside Sorrento's office. The f***ing door doesn't even lock. Why can't every single one of these avatars remain disguised during this operation? Why does he even need to pull off this disguise right now? Other than to tell us Mission Impossible style that's what he's doing and tip off Sorrento later. Even if you don't think your loyalty employees can see this hatch because of the helmets they wear, why would you even install a hatch that can be opened from the inside?
What's his password?
Okay, it's capital B 055 man 69.
Don't worry about the case-sensitive nature of man, only ponder the capabilities and the destructive power of man through the course of time. Really? This rig has that kind of reflective surface? Wouldn't the reflection from here just be the back of the rig? How is it perfectly capturing all of his captors from here? There was a much cooler way to figure this out by looking in their eyes, but let's just go with the impossible reflection, sure.
We'll spot them.
We'll spot them. That sounds like a great inscription for our tombstones.
I guess Sorrento would be excellent, if not a little overdramatic, at CinemaSins. Sure, Samantha has the password, but didn't this rig scan Sorrento's face earlier? I guess it forgot?
Someone's lost their freedom. Someone's lost their lives.
Damn, movie, Daito ain't dead-toe in this version, so what's up with the hard foreshadowing? Also, the books don't matter.
And now, this. A force field around the third challenge.
I blame Halliday. Why the f*** would you make it possible for someone to use a magical item around the challenge at all? This is a world he created, and easily could have restricted use of any items that made this unfair.
I only came here to escape the hand that life dealt me.
Samantha has one goddamn job here, and then she can leave. I'm sure this is a captivating speech and all, but she's got the spell, so get the f*** out of there already.
Activate the Iron Giant.
Earlier, we saw H on Planet Doom trying to win an artifact that turned her into a giant robot for 2 minutes. But why did she even try to enter that deathmatch when she was building a fully functional Iron Giant?
Are you willing to zero out for the Oasis? Are you willing to fight?
God damn, another young adult adaptation that creates this awesome world but ends up distracted by revolution. Ready Player One could have been the tits, y'all. I don't have time to explain how this IOI extracts maximum fun from this movie, but it just does. So, is this movie saying any asshole can strap into one of these suits and just enter the Oasis without a password? I know these Sixers are supposedly mindless worker bees and but not even a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 password? While I watch this crazy battle unfold, I'm wondering, what the f*** are they shooting at? There is no army coming at them yet, and there's no more shield, and the only thing they can do now is destroy Halliday's fortress that contains the third key, so what's the plan? These two giant armies clash with one another battles have actually become boring over the years. A whole bunch of who gives a shit and who the f*** cares lost in an eyes wide shut orgy of CGI f***ing the Twisted Sister. And it's weird they released 2 Pacific Rim sequels in the same year. I don't even understand how this is possible. Halliday actually allowed, in his simulation, for you to stick charges into the bridge and blow it up? If this place plays like the deathmatch arena it is, then the environment itself shouldn't be damaged, considering how much wear and tear it would undergo every time a deathmatch is played here. Also, it's a little weird that before this blew, TJ Miller's character didn't even phone in a bomb threat.
IROC could hit the Iron Giant's head with this weapon and just kill it right now, but decides to go for the hands so that eventually gravity will decide this.
Holy hand grenade. How much did that cost?
Less. And it's gonna cost them.
Hey, he didn't count to 3.
He lost.
Not adventure.
This guy writes off the correct game being adventure, even though the clear rule for the incorrect game is to be sunk into the ice after playing less than 1 minute. Dude played adventure for, I think it was 9 hours? That's what it felt like anyway. So did IOI play Extraterrestrials, a game created by Skill Screen back in 1983? Or did they play the infamous E.T.? And this is Spielberg's way of acknowledging it and distancing himself from it by spelling it out and making it plural.
It's pretty easy if you know what you're doing.
Really? Let me finish it for you.
All the other keys were solo projects, where only one person at a time was allowed at the challenge. But on the last one where you can see what the other person's doing, Halliday said, should be fine to allow a bunch of people to watch. No one's gonna threaten bodily harm to the other. I'm actually fine he has this extra life thing, but he did practically nothing to earn it. He got it from that curator guy earlier in the movie, all because he made a bet that Kira was only mentioned once in the entire archive. I bet the book did something different that was a lot more satisfying, but the books don't matter, so onward and upward. What a massive troll job from Halliday here. You actually have to reach out and grab the key or else it doesn't count. Your avatars can vacuum up unlimited coins, but a key is too goddamn hard. Meanwhile, doesn't this climactic scene feel an awful lot like Inception?
This is the moment that Halliday made Morrow sign over his shares in Gregarious.
Sure, this is another test, but what would happen if Parzival failed? Is he out of the game? Does he still have all 3 keys? Would he have to go through the whole process again, even though he knows how to beat the levels? I'm just saying this is a totally unnecessary plot twist that doesn't have any bearing on the quest itself.
This is the button. If you push it, the whole simulation shuts down.
That's why it's easily accessible and can be pushed on accident. Seriously? This asshole Halliday can't find the egg? Meanwhile, Sorrento is getting closer to knocking Wade out of the Oasis while Dickhead here looks for it? Seriously, if something happens to Wade here, isn't Gregarious Games in breach of contract if they don't give the company to him after doing everything required by the game to win?
You're not an avatar, are you?
No.
Is Halliday really dead?
Yes.
Then what are you?
Goodbye, Parsifal.
Something that would be way unsatisfying to hear explained, so we'll keep it unexplained. We brought up a mystery you didn't even need.
Wade? Ogden Morrow?
Yeah, I'm pretty surprised too. This motherfucker hasn't been in hardly any of this movie. So this is a slightly different contract from the one Wade refused to sign just a minute ago when he learned he was being tested. But it's still a contract where the buyer buys the company for $1 billion. It has nothing to do with giving the company over for winning the contest.
You're the curator?
Movie reveals Simon Pegg was the curator all along. But does that mean he was in the simulation every day? Tending to every single person who ever walked through there for every waking minute? I hope that was by appointment only.
The third thing we did wasn't as popular. We closed the Oasis on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Meaning people who only used it Tuesdays and Thursdays because those were their only days off from work were Why not just put a limit on the amount of days in a week rather than cutting out specific days? And don't they go to school using the Oasis?
Let's do this. Leroy Dragons!
Oh my god, he just ran in. You can do anything. Go anywhere.
Coffee in Paris, surfed the Maldives, took a little nap on Mount Kilimanjaro.
Loyalty Division is reporting profits up 28%. Finale.
We're opening 5 new loyalty centers this month.
Snotty beamed me twice last night. It was wonderful.
You're gonna wear the outfit from your favorite movie. Don't be that guy.
You're gonna wear the shirt of the band you're gonna go see. Don't be that guy.
I heard the music, and I pulled myself up the stairs, and then I saw you and him dancing!
So you found my jade key.
And one more thing. You must find the jade monkey before the next full moon.
Sweet! Coins!
Balls.
Language!
Start? I don't feel so good.